Hi there. Welcome to Supercharged Fridays, London edition. Walking around in a lovely park in London, hanging out, because that's what we do every single Friday at 2 p.m. Central European Time, which is 1 p.m. here locally, because I am outside of my usual time zone. A beautiful day. Very lucky. Couldn't have asked for a more gorgeous day because it was raining this morning. Now the sun's out. And when the sun is out, this is what you do. This is what you do in a lovely park. Just come inside because I wanted to get away from the traffic and the noise so we can chat. How's it going? How was your week? Come and say hi in the comments. How was your week? Describe your week to me in one word. Describe your week to me in one word. And for those who celebrated Diwali, how was Monday? Lots of questions. How was Diwali? How was your week? Comment in the comments and say hi. And if I can help with anything, who knows? I don't have the answers. Nobody does. But I have certain perspectives on certain topics and it might be helpful. So come in and say hi in the comments and let's chat. Thank you for tuning in. For all those who are here, thank you for joining live. Shamim, LinkedIn user in New York City. Identify yourself. Christine. Christine, you got to sort this privacy setting on your LinkedIn with external apps so that I don't have to always ask for your name. Oh, 6 degrees. Well, sounds like winter. Risto, it's a very odd October here. Extremely odd because it's very warm, unusually warm, and it worries me. Um, so, yeah, good Diwali. Good. I'm happy to hear that. Um, North Carolina, thank you for joining. Dallas here in the house. Hey, Tejas, lovely. Let me know if I can help with career questions. We have a couple of coaches here watching as well. So it's always it's always good to get different points of view. So yeah, let's do this. Um, let me see. It's a little hard to walk and. Oh, I hear thunder. Yeah, maybe I spoke too soon. I'm hearing really loud thunder right now. So okay. Hey, Montreal is in the house. Stefano, how you doing? Good. Yeah, it's gorgeous, John. I don't know yet, but it was really not jacket weather. Like this is weird if it's not jacket weather. Sikandar, I am taking questions. That is exactly the point. It's so good to hang out. I can call out your names. We're not in any hurry. Hi, Rajiv. Good to have you here. Good. All right. Week busy week. It's Friday. It's nice. So, Haley, thank you. Thank you. I have a question. While we wait for others, I have a question that I received a few days ago. So, let's get into it. It's a very juicy question, and basically, what she said was that you know, she lives in a foreign country. It hasn't been easy to find a job. She found a job, and realized much later that she was paid really low, like low compared to the market. She, managed to find out from her colleagues, etc. And what she was told primarily was that you should be so lucky, you should be so grateful, you have this, and she feels almost like being shamed if she were to ask for more money because she feel I don't know, I don't have the numbers, but she's so much lower than everyone else who's doing the exact same work. It's bothering her, right? So what would you do? Tell me in the comments. You don't have to be a coach or a recruiter or a trainer. You have opinions, you have a voice, you have thoughts on this. Please share. What would you do if you found out that you're paid lower than everyone else? Considering it was very hard for you to get this job, you didn't have permission to work in the country. It's not very straightforward. You know, if it were very straightforward, I wouldn't be asking you, but I would love to get some answers. I would love to do some crowdsourcing in terms of what you think about this. Feel free to share right here in the comments. I'm gonna sit down at some point so that it's a little easier to maneuver everything happening. And I think it's a little bit of a, yeah, it's a little bit of a glare coming from the sun. Maybe I should sit this way. I think it might be easier to sit this way. Let me know. Hi there. You got a question? I promise I'll get to you. Okay, good. So I'm just checking if anybody else has thoughts on what would you do about. Okay, this is really sunny. It's in my face. What would you do about the salary negotiation thing? Hey guys. Oh, thank you. All right. I'm not seeing the answers yet, so I'm gonna see. I'll share. I'll share a point of view. Um. See, listen. The point is, you feel cheated, right? If you find out that you're being paid lower, and then people tell you, but you should feel so grateful. You got a job. It feels right. I mean, you feel like you're cheated. Divakar says, then wait for the appraisal. And if nothing happens, then move on. The reason I like this answer is that it's very straightforward, and you don't have to overthink. You don't have to overthink. So walking and talking isn't easy. Start from scratch in a new country. Yeah, Bhav sir, she just started from scratch in a new country. So that's not easy either, right? Please ensure that you share advice that you yourself would follow, because it's not easy to start from scratch in a new country, right? So, all right, happy to hear from you as well. Okay, I'm gonna get into the questions now. Here's what I would do. It's not a nice feeling when you find out that you're lower paid than everyone else. I wouldn't keep it to myself. However, timing is everything. So what that means is I would wait for the right opportunity, and I would ensure that I'm ready to talk about it, which means that I have some proof, I have some receipts that I've done a good job, and I've done good work. And when the time is right, I would say, hey, let's talk about this, and not approach it from what's in it for me, what do I get out of it, but also see from their point of view, what are their needs, what do they want. And yes, let me give them the benefit of the doubt that they didn't pay lower because they saw it as a saving opportunity because I'm not from this country, but maybe this is what they knew best. And then the time comes, you can call it a correction, you can call it something. Words have power. But I would approach it like that, and I wouldn't just surprise out of the blue the boss. I would give a few hints on a regular basis so that when the time comes, they're like, yeah, they were kind of expecting it. Nobody likes to be blindsided, nobody likes to be surprised. So, how do you do that? See, that's a very complicated conversation. It's not something I can answer in a couple of minutes on a LinkedIn Live. I think it helps to work with someone who understands negotiation. I do this, for example, for a living. I do this with my clients. So, if you feel comfortable to do that, if you want to invest, work with a coach. If you don't, then watch some videos, talk to people like this, see what you get out of it. But remember, it's too important. It's too important. You don't always get a good opportunity to talk about these things. So do it right, do it well. Um, um, because if people get turned off, or if things go south, you may not have a future in that company, which is okay. You just have to be okay with that, right? I hope that helps. So good luck. I think I've spent quite a bit of time on that. Now let's get into the questions. I saw a question a little while ago. I'm going to get into it. I submitted a counter offer last week. Haven't heard anything back. How long should I wait? Hard to say. I would follow up. I wouldn't wait. I would follow up. Things get busy. People are busy. It's a difficult time of the year. People are preparing for the year that's coming. People are preparing for budget season and all of that. So I would not wait and outsource that hope and all of that to someone. I would take control and get back into the driver's seat. All right. What are essential things to be considered for senior roles? What is the essential thing to do for being considered for senior roles? I think, Sikandar, it's not 100% sure I understood it. So let me ensure that. So you mean to say, if you want to get promoted to a senior role, what is the most important thing? I'm going to give the answer that is actually a bit controversial, hopefully, if I've understood your question. And that is perception management. How are you perceived? That does not mean that you're incompetent and it's all about perception and brand building. It's not meaning the competence and being good at your job is a given. It's a given. Let me tell you, that's the easy part. A lot of people are good at their work. Um, but there is a level beyond that. There's being good at your work and then being recognized as being good at your work, and then keeping your commitments. When you say you're going to do something, you actually do it, and you do it before the deadline. You don't let people down, and you don't feel shy about reminding people that your contribution helped. So it's a bit delicate how you do it. Perception management has a long, like, it really, like, you reap rewards for a very long time when you're in that company. So it's about being a bit strategic and also seeing with whom do I have to build perception management. Is it with everyone? Because that's exhausting and your time is limited. Hopefully this gives you something to think about. I have a question about the recruitment stages after the phone screening. How can I know if they will call me for the next interview? It's hard to say, right? If they don't get back to you, if they ghosted you, you don't know. Most good companies tend to be in touch and saying, sorry, we are not going to be able to move forward to the next round. Phone screenings are a bit strange, right? It's not a classic interview. They only hear you, it's only the sound of your voice. A lot of times, what they do is they check communication and comprehension skills. Communication and comprehension skills, all of those things to ensure you can speak well, you can articulate your thoughts, and you're understood. So if you haven't heard back, I wouldn't hesitate. I see a lot of people hesitating about following up with recruiters. They don't bite, man. Feel free to do that. Feel free to, and say, hey, I had a great conversation with this and this person. I'd love to know what the next steps are, if there are any. Just say that. If you want to get a little bit of help, I have a ebook on how to follow up with interviews and all emails that you need to write, the templates for all kinds of important emails. All right. Sargent says, it's been 2 months now and I'm jobless as I got laid off. So now companies are offering that same package as I was having in my last organization. Hey, Sargent. So, okay, I don't know. I don't like the word jobless. I am jobless. I know it sounds like a very silly thing to do. Tomato, tomato. How does it matter? I think words have power. So you're not jobless. That doesn't define you. You are currently in a career transition. I am jobless anyway. It's just something that occurred to me. I don't like that word. You're more than your job. I would negotiate. If you feel like you've worked hard and you've earned some skills and you've learned a few things that you didn't know before, I would negotiate. And negotiations have nothing to do with whether you're between jobs or not. Not according to me. I've done it. My clients have done it. Lots of my subscribers on YouTube, followers on LinkedIn have done it. So if they can do it, you can do it. They're not exceptionally smart. I'm not exceptionally smart. So I would ask for more money, and they can either say yes or they can say no. It's simple. Don't overthink it. If they say no, it wasn't the right time, or you didn't ask in a certain way that gets you the results and the answers that you're looking for. Okay, good luck. But I don't want to be that person that says, oh, but you just take it. If you don't have anything else and you really want it and it's a good company, then take it. You can always find a way to do it later, but you say this to them. See if they can be creative in 3 months or 6 months. If your performance is up to the mark, then put all of that, find all of that. I talk about this in all of my YouTube videos. So hopefully that will help as well. I'm going to go through the comments really quickly because it's actually lunchtime here. A very strange comment. Your feet. Okay. You don't have to watch. Please change the channel. Have a nice life. Bye. Hi, Bangladesh. Ki khobor? Call a spade a spade. I like that, Rajiv. Create leverage for increased compensation. Yeah, what does that mean? Sikandar, it's a good point, but be more, if you can be more straightforward and simple in your language, it would help even more. It is that feeling of being cheated. Nobody likes it. Okay, we're getting opinions on that question. Good. Stefano says, I certainly feel the need to have the difficult conversation with my boss. You know what? Difficult conversations, once you have them, they're like pulling a band-aid. And then you're done. Oh, it's so much easier. to have a better understanding of context and potentially discuss a plan. 100% agree. Hey, Vincent, Vincent. But in most teams in India, hop. Yeah, if you can, if you don't feel appreciated, you can change. No problem. When a company says that being grateful for having a job, listen, it is, for me, it screams toxic. They are not looking out for their employees. And they're, yeah, lip service. 100% agree with you, Adam. Hi, Adam. And it's also like the mindset is like you are replaceable. You're a resource. You're not a human being. You know, pay fairly. 100% agree with you. Good. Absolutely. Um, okay. Yeah, if you want to ask, please ask. Just I would request people watching to have some basic respect. Remember that whatever you type, especially on LinkedIn, anybody can view it and people can view your profile. You're not anonymous. If you have something to ask nicely. This is a safe space. I'm doing this every Friday for almost 3 years. I'm doing this for free. I'm doing this with my own time. So I do not appreciate, rudeness. Let's just put it that way. I don't have time. So might even block you. Ooh. How do you switch to a different domain when you don't have experience on paper? Harinder, such a lovely question. I talk about this so many times. This is a big one. How do you switch, Harinder? You don't do it overnight. You do it through baby steps. And you learn a little bit, you get some experience, you do some volunteer work, you see the skills you have today. How do they map with what you are looking for? They call transferable skills. Google the word transferable skills. If somebody's watching, and if you can do me a favor and type it in the comments, transferable skills. They are your best friends in the whole world. And study people who are doing what you want to do. And what do they do on a regular basis? Study them, see what they're sharing on social media, talk to them, have conversations with them. What do they read? What kind of podcast they listen to? So I have detailed video. I have a detailed podcast episode on career change. So just go to my podcast, How I Got Hired. You'll see it on my LinkedIn profile. Scroll back. It's from June or July last year, from 2021. You'll find it. Oh, by the way, I've just completed 100 episodes. Yay! Had a fabulous episode that came out this week. And it's with a Bollywood actress, actually, who's made a career in Hollywood as well. And she's amazing. Her name is Nimrat Kaur. If you have an opportunity, check that out. But we do talk about career change in many of my episodes. And a lot of my guests have been through career change. It's a big, big question, Harinder. I can't answer this in a few minutes, but hopefully that helps you a little bit. Hey, you're the only reason I'm at TCS. God bless. All the best. All the very best. What do you do with what should be the habit of inside a person to do his work the most? This strange question. It's a biggish question. What should be the habit to do a good job? There's so many things. I don't think there's one thing specifically. I would say focus. In the world we live in today, focus is a big problem. Focus, discipline, keeping your word. I would start with that. There's really a big one. It's hard to simplify this. Competence and skills for the job are table stakes, but your perception by the company needs. Yeah, and Adam, you know this because you're in senior roles, and we don't want to be in the passenger seat. We always want to be in the driver's seat, especially the more senior we are. The more senior we are, for sure. For sure. Hi, Shannon. I had my resume evaluated and it apparently needs work. What do you think about the companies that do this? I don't know, Shannon, about companies, most of the companies. What I have heard from some people is that they tend to be a bit, like mills, resume mills. They do a quick job, they charge a couple of $100. If you can afford it, Shannon, and if you have the budget, work with some dedicated resume writers. And there's some really good ones on LinkedIn who do an excellent job. If you want to DM me, I can send some of them your way. Like, I can send you some of those names that I know, that I respect. They've been on the podcast, and people who've been on my podcast are like, I vet them. Like, I make sure I interview really good people. If you don't have the budget, I have two options that can help you as well. One, I'm going to advocate for myself because I know I do a good job because I've worked for years in this. One is a resume course. The reason I recommend a resume course is because I think that knowing how to write a good resume is a life skill that I think we all need to have, and it serves us forever. So I have a resume course. Check it out on my website. If you want, send me a DM. I'll send you the link. And if you don't have a budget for a resume course either, then check out my few free videos on YouTube. There's a lot of tips on how to write good resumes. But I would start with seeing what's out there. Get the help, whether it's free, whether it's paid, and then just bite the bullet and open that and start doing it. There's lots of free tips out there. You may realize that you get so much information from the free tips. And the people I'm going to tell you about, follow them on LinkedIn because they share free tips all the time. You may not even need to hire them. You may not even need to buy my course. So good luck, but do your homework on it. Hi, Faizan. Happy you're here. Mary, hello. I'm looking at the time. Just one sec. Okay, it's time to. I have to actually go now for lunch, and I'm gonna go super duper fast. Super duper fast. Okay, I always say that, and I never really do that. Hi, Sonal. How do I apply again to the same company after getting rejected? Do I message the company HR advisor? No, no. I'll tell you what I would do if I were you and you are really convinced that it's a good company and you feel like you belong there. I would just apply again. You'll be surprised. Secret, you'll be surprised how many times, processes are broken and people don't even remember why they rejected you. Later, if it comes up in conversation, you can say it, but I don't know. I don't think it's a red flag. Please. I mean, there are some basic criteria. If you don't meet them, please, I'm not going to give you that. I'm not going to say still apply. But if you know you're making the basic criteria, then for sure. All right. I'm glad it's helpful. All the best. All the best. Hey, Suresh. I have an offer with a company. I tried another one and I got a full-time job with good CTC. I want to go there. Is there anything wrong? No. Not quite sure I follow that. Dude, you're in demand. It's a good feeling. Enjoy the feeling and choose the one that makes the most sense for you now in the present, but also the future. If a recruiter reaches out to you to schedule an interview and the interview went well, but you haven't heard back, my God, how many times I'm getting this question? I'm so sorry, Ruby, that this happens. This is happening so frequently. If you're a recruiter and you're watching and you do this, get your ish together. I mean it. I'm speaking on behalf of everyone who's watching right now. Enough is enough. Okay? Automate it. If they didn't make it, automate the. At least let them know. Let people know. Let people know. Treat them like human beings. Because as recruiters, we've also been between jobs, and it's a horrible feeling to get ghosted like this. Follow up, Ruby. Follow up once. Follow up twice. Follow up thrice. After that, screw them. Okay? Yeah, I said it on LinkedIn. All right. Okay. How do you convince your boss for an early release? Ooh, sounds like you're in prison, Ron. I'm so sorry. I'm sure it's not the case. It's a big problem with companies when they are like, listen, if they need you and they need you to do the full notice period, see, they don't have a replacement. Put yourself in their shoes. If this was your company and one of your best people want to leave, most people don't do this out of spite. They make you stay because they need you, right? But you also have to make sure you deliver your job and you deliver what you said you'd deliver. Because you're only seeing things from your point of view. Makes sense? See things from their point of view and find a middle ground somewhere. Hey, Stefano, thank you so much. Thank you. Hi, Chitra. Oh, yeah, thank you so much. This amazing. 100. And so many hundreds to go. It's just the beginning. In my notice period, I'm getting less calls. Is the recruitment slowing down in India? I don't know particularly about India, but things pick up very quickly. Chandra, you'll be surprised because when the time comes for budget and all of the recruitment and manpower planning for 2023, it gets busy end of the year. But don't just wait to get calls, right? Also reach out. Do your own bit. So you're not, just hoping and praying. Thank you, Ruby. Amazing. Amazing. Oh, yeah, that one is amazing as well. Chitra, discipline, commitment, focus. I'm glad you're here, Chitra. Happy to catch you here. Please guide me. The company trying to retain me, how do I negotiate in that scenario? If the company is trying to retain you, it's a nice company. Manjari, enjoy this. See, it's a good problem to have. It's a good problem to have. But you don't want to be with them, then never ever leave in a huff. And never ever burn bridges, because you never know what happens in the future. The person from that company could one day be your boss, or you could be the colleague, and this and that. I can't tell you how many times this happens. It's a very small world. So I would leave with a good taste in my mouth as far as possible. It's not easy, but that's what I would do. And let them know. Like, let the door be open. See if they say that to you. Let the door be open so that, in the future, you don't know. The new place could be horrible. Then what? Then what? Then what? Might want to go back. This happens. It's called boomerang hiring. Going back because you realize it was actually good. So negotiate with kindness, negotiate with empathy. It's a much bigger answer than what I'm saying, and I'm simplifying it in the interest of time. Hey Ashley, how do I apply again to the same company? Okay, we already talked about this. Good. All right. Okay, awesome. Hi Tegan, good morning in Chicago. How are you doing? Thank you so much for the 100 episodes. I haven't talked about it. I've been a bit quiet on LinkedIn this week. I've been away from social media. My kids are on in my break, in school break. Thank you for being here, Abe. Lots of comments. I don't always see every one of them. Last question. Can you ask what is the technical question for your interview through email? Is it rude? Okay. You're saying you want to prepare for a technical interview that's coming up. You can do two things. You have two options. I have to make sure this doesn't keep bouncing. Option number one. Can you hear that? Sounds like thunder. But the sun is so bright. Okay. Option number one is you check out on Google, check out on YouTube, Glassdoor, the name of the company and the type of questions they ask. I would do that. Actually, it's not even an option. I would say step one. Step one. Step two, if you know people on LinkedIn who are in that company or used to be in that company and you're friends with them, ask them about interviews, technical, whether the answers they give you match with what is already covered in step one. But if you don't have friends and know people on LinkedIn who are in that company, the step number 3 is what I would do is I would write to the recruiter saying, hey, thank you so much. I'm really looking forward to the interview and meeting with you, and I'm preparing right now. So ask about a few simple things like, hey, if you know it's in person, for example, can I know a little bit about a couple of things so I can prepare accordingly? Number 1 is the dress code. Maybe you're driving, you can ask about parking. And number 3, in terms of the technical interview prep, is there a certain type of question that tends to be more frequent? Is there anything you can do to be prepared? Ask casually, put it in one of these 3, so you don't look like, oh, what are you going to ask me? There's nothing wrong with that question, but it just shows that you care about it and you want to be prepared. Make sense? All the best. Hi Elliot. 4th November. Yeah, thank you Elliot. Happy Diwali. Oh, thank you. It's a good point. So I was going to say this at the end today, that our LinkedIn Live next week will be amazing. I have a guest called Kolarelle Shanaike, who is a barrister right here in London. And last time he was on, it was exactly a year ago. We talked about, separating from the company. What are some things you should know? And he was giving a legal perspective. He was talking, he was sharing his legal expertise. This time we're going to be talking about interview communication skills, some do's and don'ts, because he's also a communication coach. Do keep in mind that in Europe, because this does not apply to Asia, it's a curse. It's a curse that happens in Europe and North and South America. The clocks change by 1 hour. So they go forward an hour. They go back an hour to make the most of months, dark months, right? To have more daylight savings. So that will start next time I'm on Supercharged Fridays. However, this will only be in Europe. The US happens 2 weeks later. It is a mess, Elliot. Let's just say what it is. It's a mess. It happens 2 weeks later. We can't even synchronize this. It's a disaster. So yeah, it will be. Just know that it will be 2 p.m. Central European time. Just know that, okay? If you're in India, 2 p.m. Central European time next week will end up being a 4.5 hour time difference. If you are in the US, for a limited period of 2 weeks, it'll be a 5.5 hour time difference. That's all I'm going to say before I get a headache and lose my focus. All right. Hey Manjari, you're very welcome. You're very welcome. I'm so happy that it's been helpful. So thank you for being with me. Thank you for joining me live on this beautiful in this beautiful park right here in London. I am about to grab some pizza for lunch because it's a holiday. This is what you do. You eat unhealthy. You get a few calories and then you go back to your reality and then you make home food. You exercise a bit. You balance a few things in life. And I shall see you next Friday. So join me 2 p.m. Central European time. Just watch out that the time difference will be probably impacting you in most geographies. And we're going to talk to Kolareli Schneike about interview prep, do's and don'ts. It's going to be amazing. He's an amazing guy, one of the top lawyers right here in London. So I'm super lucky to have him on the broadcast. And he's also been on the podcast, and we talked about how he became a lawyer. He's absolutely amazing. So I'll share that next week. And the week after, I'm talking a lot now. The week after is also going to be very cool. We're going to be speaking with Elise Finn, who's a leadership coach. And she works a lot. Her company works a lot with middle managers. And we're going to be talking about quiet quitting and what that means when you're in a large company. It's going to be a super interesting as well. This comment shouldn't even be here. Okay. Oh, the comment's been there the whole time. Never mind. So I shall see you next Friday at the same time. Have a lovely Friday. Have a lovely weekend. Stay safe.